What's up, everybody? I'm Albie13. Infinity Ward has posted Season 2 details today. I'm going to be covering anything that affects DMZ. Information on the new map will be shared over the coming weeks. Changes in this blog will be further detailed along with new content in patch notes that will be released before the season launch, February 15. Infinity Ward has said that one of their highest priorities before anything else is addressing crashes and stability. Something that will affect DMZ mode is weapon balancing. It says that they're always analyzing and they will be rebalancing weapons for Season 2. They'll be putting weapon balance notes in Season 2 launch patch notes. They're making some changes to armor that is also going to affect DMZ. It's unclear if these specific changes will be moving into DMZ. It seems like this new system is coming into play where loot will no longer be in windows and menus, but the loot will be dropped out of all containers in the world. They want to minimize time spent navigating the UI, and they want to get players back in the action faster. They're talking about a new backpack system globally that gives players the agency to customize their inventory for a desired playstyle or role within a squad. It's really not clear how this is all going to affect DMZ. If you do read through this blog, I think the global changes largely they're talking about Warzone Battle Royale. I don't think that these changes necessarily go into DMZ, but we're going to focus on the specific DMZ section. Infinity Ward acknowledges that in Season 1 the AI were challenging. In Season 2 they've changed a number of balance changes to adjust the types of AI that spawn, the number of AI that spawn, and the accuracy of AI at range, which range goes from 0 to 1,000 meters. So what does that even mean? It's really vague here, but they are probably going to focus on the accuracy of AI at an extreme distance being way too good, which seems to be a big complaint. They say they want the AI to be challenging, but manageable, and they want players to respect the enemy combatants. And I think that that's the first thing that is a problem. People get caught up in getting loot and getting frustrated by the AI when they do bad things, but they're also forgetting to respect the enemies, especially as they get higher in tier. The tier 3s should be something that you should be concerned about engaging with. The second thing that they touch on is spawn points. So they're tuning the infill points across Al Mazrah. They want to improve the early match experience based on gameplay data. So they're looking at the data. What data are they looking at? Starting at a point in which your squad feels isolated or without loot and contract opportunities is not the best experience. These tweaks should improve spawn locations, spawn points across the mode. So the only thing they mention is that you don't feel like you can get to loot, and you don't feel that you can get to good contracts. I think that is it. I thought that was actually a good thing. Sometimes you're going to be more lucky and sometimes you're going to be less lucky, and I don't think you want to make that just even. I think that there's been a lot of as soon as players spawn, they look to the left, they look to the right, they look if enemy players, how many players there are, do they have gear, do they have sniper capability. Those are the things that are actually on players' minds. So I don't know. They didn't mention any of that. We're going to see what the spawn tuning does, but I wish that they really would listen to feedback and think about randomizing more it seems too easy to predict where players are going to be. Let's read through what they say about mission difficulty tuning, because this should be interesting. Data and feedback reinforced that the faction mission difficulty ramp was too aggressive for many players, and that the demanding scale ultimately made it very challenging to unlock the second insured weapon slot, completing all Tier 3 missions in Season 1. We have adjusted the overall scaling of difficulty in missions as the tiers progress. Later tier missions will still be quite challenging, even for the experienced operator, but we believe more straightforward access to an additional insured slot will provide a better path forward for all players. No shit. What people say online is, you get your insured weapons and you don't need them anymore. Once you do all these high-level missions, the missions are gone. All that's left is PvP. Yeah, for PvP you do need good weapons, so that's great, but not to help you actually do all the multitude of things that you can do. Engaging with the AI, missions, story stuff. So let me take a look here and see what they said. Faction mission difficulty ramp. I assume that they're saying that once you stepped up in the tiers, you got to probably tier 3, tier 4 definitely stepped up, that it was stepping up too aggressively. So they're saying that it got too difficult as you moved up. But if that's the case, there should be more missions and more tiers. My personal opinion. So they're probably looking at where players are in terms of the progress, and they're noticing that a majority of DMZ fans are basically at tier 3, and some are at tier 4, and not many are at tier 5. That's probably what the data they're looking at. Now, if we look specifically at what they're saying, it made it very challenging to unlock the second insured weapon slot, which I disagree. Unlocking the second insured weapon slot was in the right difficulty range. Unlocking the third is extremely difficult. Completing all tier 3 missions is a great challenge. I don't agree with that. And it deserves an insured weapon slot. On the third point of DMZ, they talk about crashes. They know that crashes are especially impactful in DMZ. You can lose all your items and your contraband weapons. They say the same thing that they've been saying. Now, I'm not saying that they're not addressing crashes. They are. They're fixing the crashes and stability. But all they're saying is we're committed to increasing stability. We're committed to fixing crashes first. They've already shown that. They don't have to say it. That does not help us understand anything new. They bothered. There's not even enough writing here. They say, stay tuned for more specifics on this. Everyone is saying, please find a way to address when you get cut short by the game crashing. So, give us more on that. Tell us something. Tell us you have some ideas. Tell us you're trying to implement something. Tell us it's too difficult for you to do. You're glad to take all our money in the store and everything that it generates, and it's too difficult for you, or you're not capable of programming something to help us. Just tell us. Something that's sure to get your attention. The seasonal refresh. All new missions are coming to Season 2, including a refresh of your current faction mission progress, and an inventory, contraband, and keys reset. We'll be detailing all you need to know intel for DMZ ahead of Season 2 in an upcoming blog. So, the good thing you can take away from this is that there will be a new blog specifically for DMZ that's coming up before Season 2, so very soon. They waited a long time to tell us that they're going to refresh your faction mission progress. And I've even already heard people say it's not even clear what they mean by that. Locations. What do they have to say here? When they refer to a new exclusion zone, that's what they call Al Mazrah, and that's what they call Building 21. So there's going to be a new map that is going to be for DMZ in Season 2. That's all they're saying here. Players will have a third option to choose from when deploying in DMZ. The faction mission refresh, interesting because they just touched on this and they're back at it, we'll provide new missions that send you across these destinations, including Building 21. We suggest you and your squad gear up for infiltration first. So they seem to be saying that expect it to be difficult, you're going to need gear, we're going to be putting missions in Building 21 like they should have done from the beginning, but that's cool. The next wave, we can deal with that. And of course there's going to be all new missions for this all new area that's presumably quite large.